What's up, everybody? Wanted to run through how I calculate someone's macros whenever I first start working with them, because I get asked pretty often, like, Dave, I understand protein, carbs, and fats and calories. Like, I know what that stuff is, but how the heck do you actually figure out how much I'm supposed to be getting? So I want to run through a quick example with you guys, just so you can get a little more insight into how we actually do this, and we're not just kind of throwing shit at the wall to make sure it sticks. So first off, I'll give you guys an example of, let's say we've got Sally, okay? So Sally is in her mid 40s. Stay-at-home mom. So, you know, not super active, not sedentary, moderately active. Sally is 170 pounds, okay? And she wants to get down to 150 pounds. All right, so how the heck do we figure out what Sally's, can you guys even see that? Sally, where do we go from here? How the heck do we figure out where we should start Sally in terms of her calories and her macros and all that good stuff? For most people, this is how we would start, and this is the progression of like how we would figure out what calories need to be, what protein needs to be, and all that good stuff. So first off, calories. Our goal is fat loss. Okay, so we know we want to be in a caloric deficit, and most evidence supports that you want to be anywhere from 10 to 12 calories per pound if you want to be in a caloric deficit to burn fat. Now, generally, we would target 10 calories per pound of current weight, or, you know, closer to 12 calories per pound of goal weight. So it really depends, and you can kind of play around with those numbers to figure out what works best. But for Sally, let's say we want to start her at 10 calories per pound, and she weighs 170 pounds. So that's going to be 1,700 calories, okay? So 1,700 calories per day is our starting point for Sally. Now, we know that we need to be targeting about a gram per pound of goal weight, or more specifically, lean body mass, when it comes to protein. Now, most people don't have access to like a DEXA scanner to figure out their actual lean body mass. So we'll use goal weight because it's a pretty good approximation. Wow. And, we'll shoot for 150 grams of protein for Sally. Now, where do we go from here? We know she needs to be at 1,700 calories, 150 grams of protein. Well, protein, let me prop this up here, you guys can see it. Protein is 4 calories per gram. So that means we're getting what? 600 calories from protein for Sally. That leaves us 1,100 calories for carbs and fats. Now, for most people, it's a little less consequential how you break this down until you start to get into more specifics that are performance related and specific to the individual and all that good stuff. But let's say Sally really prefers carbs over fats. She likes carbs, and she's not huge on things like nuts, avocados, fatty fishes, all that good stuff. So we'll say, okay, we'll be carb heavy in terms of our remaining calories. So what I would do in that situation is, for females, I won't go below 40 grams of fat in most circumstances, because we have a lot of evidence that supports that that's necessary for hormone production, cognitive function, all that good stuff. So let's say we set her fats at 40. There's 9 calories per gram of fat, all right? So that's gonna be 40 times 9, which gives us 360 Is that right?
Yeah!
Yeah, let's run with 360. So we're getting 360 calories from fat. We're getting 600 calories for protein. That means we're getting 960 calories between those two macros. So we have set with 1700 minus 900 gets us to what, 800 minus another 60. That's 740 calories, if my math is right, that we can give to carbs. All right. Now, carbs are 4 calories per gram, which means we take 740 and divide it by 4, and that's going to give us our number of carbs. Oh, I gotta go grab a calculator, sorry. And I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. So 740 divided by 4. Let me get a little closer. 740 divided by 4 is going to be 185. So that's 185 grams of carbs. So when I first start working with Sally, I'm going to tell her we're targeting 150 grams of protein, 185 grams of carbs, and 40 grams of fat. And that's how we would determine her starting macros. If we're having issues with being compliant in terms of those exact macro ratios, a lot of times I'll tell beginning clients, like, look, the most important thing here is that you hit that protein number and you hit that calorie number. Okay, because the carbs and the fats are essentially, you know, this is generalizing to a large degree, but ultimately they're energy sources in the body. So as long as we keep the total calories in check that's coming from both of those, we're going to see progress, all right? Especially if we're hitting that protein number. So you might even say, we're gonna target 1,700 calories and 150 grams of protein per day. Carbs and fats will work themselves out as long as we're adhering to that calorie number, all right? And then as Sally gets better at tracking, Sally gets more comfortable, then we'll say, okay, Sally, we're gonna specifically break down the remaining calories to carbs and fats in this amount and that amount. So that's how I would approach that. And, you know, Sally might elect to do a flexible dieting sort of arrangement where we just give her these numbers, she tracks everything she eats, and she hits those numbers. Or, you know, a lot of people find that they just want to be told, eat this, eat that, and eat this. And so I would then determine a meal plan for her based on all of these numbers. And then essentially, you know, we just divide out the macros evenly over the day, somewhat, you know, structuring carb consumption around workouts and all that. But now we're getting into kind of nutrient timing and nutrition 201. This is just the 101 stuff. So this is how we would determine where we start someone out in terms of their macros and kind of where to begin. Now, I'm not saying this is the end all be all numbers that we're going to stick to for Sally. So then we check in, you know, and that's where it's important to convey that, hey, I need to hear from you. How you doing? I need to hear your weight, you know, check in. I need to review your pictures. Okay. Are you having trouble eating, you know, this much of one particular thing or another thing? And then we tweak it and we say, okay, maybe, you know, we're going to have to up it to 11 calories per gram instead of 10. So, or excuse me, 11 calories per pound instead of 10 or what have you. So anyway, that's how you determine where to start, which is always the toughest part for folks. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight into how I would do that and get someone started, and then we would adjust from there. Let me know if you have any questions. Until next time,